What up, what up, what up, everybody? It's your man, Dame DNYDC, host of the Two Mics Up podcast, back again with another brand new episode. And as always, here rocking with the queen of the show, my co host, Elisa Middleton. What's happening? What's happening, sis? What's going on with you?
Hey, bruh. Hey, listeners. Hey, everyone. I'm good. I don't know. I've been outdoors and I don't know what's going on with these new mosquitoes. They
Okay.
the size of chihuahuas. I'm a woman of a particular size, so I must look like a damn giant bitch in these damn mosquitoes because they eating me alive.
Yeah, man.
Anywho.
It's different. It's different out there this summer. Definitely different.
Oh,
Glad to have you back. Glad you good. Other than the mosquito thing, yeah, I've been staying indoors, man. I'm usually an outdoors person, but I can't do it this summer. It's just too damn hot, and I've been indoors real low key. I can't do it. I just can't.
yo, it's like we've been indoors for a year, right? Through the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. So what's been going on with the mosquitoes for a year? Like where they been and why they so damn big? Look, where they
Word.
been and why they came back mutated? I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Whew.
it's funny you mentioned that. Because today we're talking about something like when you say what's happening with the mosquitoes and bugs and I don't know what their collaboration has been over the last year. What today we're gonna talk about collaborating. Kind of like what you and I do. Behind scenes, off scenes.
Right.
You know, and I really think this is great because this really leads into something that we're going to have later on this week that I want to get to. But before I bring in our two amazing guests, and as we're talking about collaborating, I want to talk about saying thanks to a couple of our sponsors who help us continue to collaborate every week. Our friends over at Next Level Keys and Riddick Entertainment. As always, here on Two Mics Up, we support small businesses. Next Level Keys, is a full service credit card repair firm that renders optimum services to their customers in all facets and walks of life. It could be qualifying for a mortgage, getting that new car, or getting funds for your business. Contact our friends at Next Level Keys with a Z at the end at support at nextlevelkeys.com. And I can't forget Riddick Entertainment. Riddick Entertainment is a multifaceted event management firm based here in Northern Virginia. Riddick Entertainment's detailed creativity and precision event planning will give you a truly meaningful and memorable experience. You really want to go ahead and reach out to our friends and contact Riddick Entertainment at info at riddickent.com. And today we are talking about collaboration, and we're joined by two amazing guests. I want to make sure I'm in the right area. We've traveled down to Richmond today. It's a first for us to be down in the Richmond area. Shout out to Richmond. And I'm going to go ahead and stop talking, and I'm going to let our two guests introduce themselves to our audience. And I want everybody to pay attention because I think what they're doing is really great and is really needed. Not only in Richmond, but I hope to see this expand throughout not only Virginia but across the country. So I'm going to be quiet. And could Tanisha and Brooke please introduce yourselves to our listeners, please?
Hey y'all, I'm Taneasha and I'm Brooke Taylor. I use they them pronouns. And we
Okay.
are the co-directors of collaboration for the Collab Spot.
Wow. I really love, what that is. So can you give us a little detail, if you could, a little bit more about the collab spot?
Sure, yeah. So the Collab Spot is a brand new co-working space here in Richmond. It's one part co-working space and event rental, and one part community hub. So we have different folks that are renting offices from us. In September, we'll be open for full capacity co-working for people to be able to come and do their work in our open space. And we also hold different community-facing events. Yeah.
Wow.
And to
That's
So
start
awesome.
when
off,
you
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, go right ahead.
For that, we hope to have very soon a community garden up and running where folks who reside in our North Side Richmond community, which is historically Black, can come over and get their hands in the dirt, as well as reap the benefits of being able to grow food in their backyard. So that's another big part of what we're aiming to do.
Wow.
Wow, that sounds
Mm-hmm.
like a one-stop full-service community event place, like a space. And then it also sounds like some place where the community can kind of gather get back to what we used to do, know each
Mm-hmm.
other. You know. So when you say event space, is that going to be like where people can throw maybe parties or birthday parties, or is it just strictly for community events?
It's both. It's a both and. Yeah, we definitely have different nonprofits and collectives that come and hold meetings and gatherings in the space, and we also have to come in and rent it out for things like birthday parties, we've had a baby shower, things like that in this space. So it's both and.
Oh, okay. Wow, that sounds good. I'm
Yeah.
already I'm not far from Richmond personally.
Come on down.
And yeah, and the garden is very intriguing to me because I like fresh
Mm-hmm.
vegetables, and herbs and things like that. So what made you guys get this, get this started? What started this, inspired this?
Yeah. So I think that, Tanisha and I, both separately and collectively, have always wanted to see in Richmond, Virginia, a safe place for Black queer people. And so I moved to Richmond from DC, actually. And up in DC, there were plenty of places that I could go and just be who I am without having to worry about, am I too Black for this space, or am I too gay for this space, right? And so this space is open to all Black people, all people, with a focus on Black and brown folks, and queer folks. And so this is a place where, whether you're just coming through to grab a cup of coffee and do your work, or whether you're coming through to engage with one of our social justice focused nonprofits, you are welcome. It's a safe space, and you could just come and be part of community for real, and so that's what inspired it, and that's how we got here.
Mm. You know,
Wow, some you said just I'm sorry,
right.
Dave.
No, go ahead, because I think you and I go ahead. You and I in the same spot. No, go ahead. No.
I mean, just the way that you just emphasized that the twofold,
Mm-hmm.
Black and queer. Am I safe in this space because I'm a person of color? But then am I safe in this space because I am queer? So that just took my mind, because not only, so that means you have double the, I don't want to put it as anxiety, but double the caution, I should say.
Right.
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 Yeah. So
And,
that
and
that
I mean, I wanted to even take that a little bit further. Like, how do you find? Because I think inside that you mentioned being from DC, where I don't want to say again, it's accepted, but you find more acceptance, a little bit maybe more open mindedness. But coming down to Richmond, which may not be as fast paced as DC, like how how has that translated, or what has been some of the challenges in creating this space?
Yeah. Yeah, those are great questions. And I definitely want to give Tanisha a chance to answer as well. I want to be clear, because I know how my DMV people get, right? So I'm
Mm.
not from DC,
Okay.
right? Not from DC, but I did do undergrad in DC. What up, Howard? HU? And
Okay.
so when I moved to Richmond, it was right after I finished at Howard. And so I just wanted to make that known for my people. But yeah, I would say every place has its own challenges.
Mhm.
DC did feel a little bit more welcoming at first than when I moved to Richmond in terms of being queer, right?
Mhm.
But what I realized very quickly is Richmond does have a very diverse and very rich Black queer, Black gay, LGBTQ, whatever your term, community. It's just we didn't necessarily have a home base, if you.
Mm.
And so the
ah
Mm.
Collab Spot is trying to be that home base.
Okay.
And so I'll let you jump in here too.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think as far as challenges go, I think things have been very striated, definitely silos, so like you were saying, places where you can be Black here and queer here. And we also want places where you can come and not necessarily have to be involved in a particular cause.
Mm.
Can be, but it's not required. I think there are a lot of activist spaces that are open for people of different identities, but there's like a particular affiliation that you're expected to have. So I think that's another important part.
Yeah. Or you're expected to always work, right? And one thing that we are very intent on is pleasure is a part of life. And so if you just want to come here and hang out, You don't have to be involved. We don't have to do no voter registration drives every day, right? Like sometimes we can just be who we are and enjoy each other. And so that's a big part of what this is. Both of us are very involved in community. Many of the people that we collaborate with are doing great things in Richmond and beyond. And also sometimes we just want to be Black, right?
Hmm.
We just want to be Black and we just want to be around each other.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so that's a big part of it too.
Man, that's awesome, man. I thank you for really taking a moment to dive into that because I think it's really important that people in our community, especially, really understand, some of the challenges that we face across the board because we're all in this together at the end of the day, and we should be working towards equality and balance amongst our entire spectrum. And I just thank you for taking a moment to share that with us and our listeners today. My next question is really, could you educate it? Because one of the things that I read, there was like 5 values that the Collab Spot, I guess, are part of their mission or their values. Could you kind of talk to us and explain what those are to our audience?
Yeah, sure, I can talk about that. So our values are creativity, and that's very important to us. We both have a lot of experience in nonprofits, and something that we talked about noticing is people wanting to do things the same kind of way, even if it doesn't yield the results that you're looking for. So we definitely appreciate leaning into creativity and being unafraid to do things differently. So that's one part. Shared leadership is another one. We are intentionally co-directors of collaboration. There's not a hierarchy. We tend to lean in different directions. We have different skill sets, so we
Mm.
own different parts of running the space, and we check in with each other about
Yeah.
everything.
In addition to shared leadership with our collaborators, right? So we have organizations that we partner with, that we collaborate with, right? And we share leadership with them. What are we trying to do as a community, right? Not just what are we trying to do, Taneasha and Brooke, right? Because we are a community, and so what is the vision for us together, and how can we achieve it? And so shared leadership, not just within the Collab Spot structure between us, but also between the folks that we partner with and collaborate with. So just
Mm.
want to add that
Hmm.
piece.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that goes right into community as one of our values as well. The whole purpose of this space is to benefit the community. Um, Nobody gets paid for the work that we do.
Not yet, but look, put some good energy out there
Right,
for
right. That's for sure. Put that energy out
Right.
there. I know that's right.
Cause ain't nothing wrong with a point, right?
Hmm.
Having have this be a safe space for all folks in the community to be able to come and know that they're welcome and safe to be here. um Sankofa is another one. I think that is connected to community, but really going back to our roots. One part of that is being able to have tough conversations about things. Conflict is one of those things that's inevitable, but we want to be able to come to the table, have conversations about things, and still be in community with each other.
Hmm.
Uh,
and Sankofa, as you all I'm sure know, means go back and get it, right? And so what
Right.
are the traditions that the folks who paved the way for us to be here, right? As Black people in America, right, from the diaspora, like what are those traditions that we can continue to live into, right? What are the ways that we might want to learn and sort of transition from some of the unhealthy traditions and create a new, right? And
Hmm.
so how do we go back and receive the gifts that have been given to us by our ancestors and by the folks who came before us? So the last one,
your social
yeah,
justice. And even though we don't, require people to be affiliated with any particular cause in order to be involved, bettering the community is something that we're both very committed to. So a lot of the folks, like Brooke was saying, are involved in community in different ways, and I think that's an ultimate goal is for us to um,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and by social justice, very plainly, we mean we want to see all Black and brown people liberated,
Yes.
right?
Mm.
We want liberation for all, and so however you cut that, that's what we mean, right?
Okay. Eh,
Criminal justice, reproductive justice,
Environmental
environmental
justice.
justice, educational justice, right? Like we want liberation across the board for our people, and so that's what we mean by social justice.
Okay. Well, I mean, I love that because I mean, it sounds you have your hands in point. I don't want to say your hands, but you have the organization pointed in so many important aspects of what we're dealing with on a daily basis. But one of the things that caught my attention, like, how do you find? Because I think Lisa and we talked about this, being maybe of a little bit older, that older generation. How do you find though giving back or educating those coming behind you on, those things that were passed down from our ancestors? How is that really working for you, and how do you go about sharing it? Because I think that's really important, a really important piece that we talk about that really somehow I think gets pushed to the backside in today's society. So I'd be interested to hear what you guys, I mean, what you both have to say.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think that there's always been a generational divide within the Black community, right? And so, I grew up in a church family. I'm also a minister, and so the Black church is a great example as well of like how generationally, right? There's sometimes miscommunication or a complete intentional lack of
Mm,
communication between folks in different age groups. And so for me, the first thing you have to do is bring everybody together, right?
mm-hmm.
Because if we're never in the same space together, how can we learn from each other, right?
Right. Mm.
So
Mm.
affinity groups based on age are great, and we have to be very intentional about like maybe the cookout is for people of all ages, even if we're both millennials, even if millennials get on y'all's nerve, right? Let
Mm-hmm.
us on the grill sometimes. I'm trying to
Right.
be a grill master. Like, teach me how to make that steak perfectly, right? And
Right, right.
those things are important. And we can speak from our generation, right, and some of the disrespect that we've felt with folks in the older generation. But we could also, now that we're approaching that age, it's like people below, younger than us are like, wait, y'all doing the same things, right? And
Right.
so we just think that it's very important to have difficult conversations, and to be able to say, well, why do you feel this way about this thing that is dividing us, right? So whether that be, financial matters or parenting or the way that we go about expressing ourselves, like, let's talk about why you feel the way you do, and then
Right.
hear me, like,
Right.
actually hear me about why I feel the way I do. Don't use the age privilege, right? Because I was raised right. I'm always going to tell my elders they're right in their face, right? But
Right.
then afterwards, they.
No, it's real talk though, and I really appreciate that because I think we need to hear more of this both ways. It's very important, like I said, and really that's what this platform is really all about. It's a safe space for everybody to come in and have those difficult conversations. We can all agree to disagree, but we want to do it respectfully. Hopefully, though, when I walk away or you walk away, you've heard something in our conversation that it may not make sense to you today, but it could be next week, next month, a year from now. Ah, I know what Tanisha was talking about. I know what Brooke was talking about. Oh, Damon, damn it, just hit me. I got it. Because whatever, sometimes we have to go through life to have certain things kind of resonate and register with us. But like you said, we have to have that place where it's safe to have these conversations. So that was awesome. I thank you, for sharing that as well. Definitely that was a nugget right there that should be
A
heard.
nugget. That was a
Yeah.
boulder.
Oh, you understand? Real talk, sis. Real talk.
No, because it's
Well,
honest.
yeah, I wanted to
We
give Felicia a chance to answer that one too.
No,
Oh,
I
I'm
think
sorry. Go ahead, Tanisha. Yes, please.
No, I think Brooke covered everything that I was going to say. I think the important thing for me is inviting people into the space, especially when it comes to younger folks. I think sometimes we kind of write young folks off and like don't really let them make their own decisions about things, and assume sometimes that they don't have their own opinions about things, but they really do. And I think it's important to also, going back to shared leadership, invite them into the space and let them have a say in the things that happen.
Yeah.
Mm, well said. Well said.
I think that the collab and what I've heard so far is just something that is so needed. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
across the board, even with the five values, it is so needed in the community, directed towards the things that we need to heal and to grow.
Agreed.
I think that what this is I hope it catches on. I hope it
Mm-hmm.
grows. I pray for it because just the nuggets, the boulders, just in simple conversation that we're having,
Yep.
you drop it like realness here in
I
my
agree.
right? And it's important because even with the generational thing, Dame, you and I talk about this all the time. We need to listen. Yes, we are
Yep.
of a particular age, but it doesn't mean just because you are younger that you don't have value. Like, we have
Agreed.
to evolve as the world evolves, as our community
Agreed.
evolves. Even if we
Agreed.
don't know, we have to be able to learn and to
Agreed.
understand. And it goes
Hmm.
both ways. So I'm on board.
I'm on
I
board with
just
it too.
I just needed to say that.
Okay. Hey, look, that's what we're here for. So, Tanisha and Brooke, what do you see the overall vision, with the collapse spot or of the collapse spot? Let's say, let's put a 3 year window on it or a 5 year window on it. What is that overall vision that you envision for the collapse spot in the future?
Yeah, so I mean, both of us are very ambitious people. I just say that. So these are things that we may not achieve in 5 years, but we definitely see the collab spot being entrenched in community. We see it being a community hub where people feel safe to have their events and to bring their children. Affordable childcare is an issue that is extremely important to us, and within 5 years, we hope to have different programming available for young folks, right? For people to be able to drop their kids off at a safe location and it not have to take half of their paycheck, right? For people to be able to get time to work in peace, whether they're working remotely or working retail or working, or even if they're not working, right? Like even
Hmm.
if they just want a day off, right? And so childcare is a huge thing that we are still trying to figure out what is the best way that we can support our community in an affordable way. The thing about the collab spot is we're never going to bleed people because that's not what
Mm.
it's for. Both of us are bi and tri-vocational. This is not a cash cow for us. This is a passion project. And so we really just want to be able to support community. So that's one of the ways. Another way is, we really want to help bring attention to the city of Richmond and the gentrification that has occurred across the city,
Mm.
push out of Black folks that has happened across the city, even just getting the space that we were blessed to find was a challenge because all of the commercial spaces in Richmond are priced so high
Wow.
that you really almost can't do community work, right?
Mm.
And so I don't know, it feels kind of intentional when we look around our city, and I know the DMV is similar, right? We look around our city and we wonder why aren't there affordable options? Because people can't afford to give you affordable options
Mm.
when
Mm.
your overhead is $20,000 a month, right? And
Right.
so, really calling attention to ways that Black people can support each other and really have more of an Afrocentric view of like business, right?
Right.
So very soon we'll be opening up. We've been very cautious with COVID, but we'll be opening up our front area, and it will be a place where you can come in and find a variety of Black retail products. I look around and I can't find a place where if I go in there, everything I see in there is Black produced.
Mm.
Right, unless it's like a particular store, but I'm talking about every product that you see in here will be Black and brown produced. And so people can come in and get their candles, get their t-shirts, get their whatever, right? And know that most of it's going to come right here from Richmond, but all of it is going to be Black and brown produced. And so that might be a little out of order, but those are a couple major things I see for the collab spot. What about you?
Yeah, I think what I envision, our tagline is "Meet me at the spot," and I envision that being like a normal thing that people say, like
Right.
when people are like, "What are we doing this weekend?" Ah, meet me at the spot. Like
That's dope.
that's
That's
I
hot. That's hot.
like
That's hot. I like
that.
that. I like that. I like that. And I like the fact of the vision really because I'm sitting here while you're both talking. I'm trying to envision in my head, like even locally, like where could I go, like one stop shop for Black things or Black products, and you really can't.
Yeah.
not that I'm aware of. And I think that's really dope. And just the way that it is, like, yo, meet me at the spot, like, this coming up. Everybody, yo, what we doing? Man, we gonna be at the spot. Meet me at the spot over the weekend. So, I mean,
You see
right.
the
Yeah, that's dope. I love it. So speaking of that, before we get into the next segment, I want to go ahead and take a moment to slide into a read for our sponsors. Here at Two Mics Up, we support small businesses, and TD3 Insurance and Regina Leggett, our Legal Shield Independent Associate, have been sponsors for season two here at Two Mics Up. TD3 Insurance Agency protects and covers all your insurance needs from auto, home, renters, commercial, specialty, and life. TD3 is licensed in the DMV, North Carolina, and New York. They just opened a brand new office, 3985 Prince William Parkway, Suite 206, Woodbridge, Virginia. And Regina Leggett, our Legal Shield Independent Associate. Are you worried about a legal problem, or do you need legal advice or legal representation? The days of no longer being able to afford an attorney are long gone. It's time to stop settling for the amount of justice that you can afford and start receiving the amount of justice you deserve. Contact Regina Leggett at reginaleggett.wearelegalshield.com. Um, and now we're back with our second half, and we are here joined by, and I want to make sure I say this correctly, so forgive me, but it's Taneasha White, she, her, and Brooke Taylor, they, them, our co-directors of the Collab Spot in Richmond, Virginia. If you guys have missed, or if you just tuned in and just kind of jumped to the second half, you need to go back and catch them nuggets in the first half, because this right here has been an excellent conversation. I really don't want you to miss out on some of the gems and some of the things that we've been talking about here on today's episode. And moving forward, I have to ask, you know, what is the catalyst for Change Consulting and its role with the Collab Spot?
Yeah, so Catalyst for Change Consulting is a DEI focused small consulting firm. Brooke is one of the lead, really the lead and the founder of the agency. So there's a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion trainings. There's leadership development. There's strategic planning, and a bevy of available workshops and series and facilitation options. And I think one thing that we envision is that to be kind of the lead in some future leadership development program that we want to house here at the Collab Spot.
Okay.
So DEI work, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a hot topic right now, right? And the reason why is because everybody actually doesn't know what the heck it is, right? And so we have a lot of talk about what is critical race theory, what is DEI, no, I don't want to talk about race, right?
Right.
But DEI work is so often done, and I'm just going to keep it 100 with y'all, so often done by white people on behalf of people of color.
Yes.
And the truth is, we can do it better than they can. I'm going to be real with you because we know experiences. And so Catalyst for Change was created, I founded it so that we have Black DEI professionals, Black and brown, that are in the community talking about the very things that they are experiencing versus bringing in non-Black and brown people to do the work and to capitalize off of the experiences that they have with us, yes. Right? And so Catalyst is, consulting, but also, as Taneasha said, we do hope to flesh out a leadership development program in tandem with the Collab Spot, where we're bringing young Black queer people and training them on how to survive in this wild world, right? When it comes to how you remain authentic to your identities and also be successful in the business world, right? Whether that's nonprofit, whether that's corporate, whether that's education, whether you're going to be an entrepreneur, what are the things that you might need to learn or just, have more knowledge of, right? And what are the ways that we can be part of your village and helping to support you in reaching the next level of your dreams. So that's where the two overlap, I would say.
Wow, man, that right there deep. Man, check on so many different things that got me. Man, white people teaching us how to, and we talk about this sometimes, Lisa, too. I'm so tired of white people telling us how to be Black. and because they know nothing about it. And I can go. That's a whole nother topic. At least if I can get on a
That is
tangent
a
on.
whole nother topic, and don't tip me over the edge because you
Okay,
know
all
how
right.
I feel about that. You
All
don't
And
right.
want me going back,
clearly,
right?
Mhm.
particularly with DEI, it's white people teaching other white people how not to be racist when they're not anti-racist themselves.
Okay.
How do you teach someone else, right? And so it really is a whole field that, in my opinion, needs more black people, needs more brown people, and needs more people that aren't just in it for the money, but
Right.
are in it to actually move us forward, right?
Mm,
So I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah,
mm,
and because you have these situations where you're teaching a white person how not to do something when you don't understand yourself what even is a microaggression. Like you don't even
Right.
know what that actually looks like or sounds like or how offensive it could be because you don't understand it. So when
right.
you have in corporate America, you have all of these um trainings, and they go wrong because you still don't get it because you're not
Right.
equipped to tell me how you just offended me.
Yep.
Right? Like it's just like, but they
Yep.
paying thousands upon thousands of dollars for
Yep.
these quote unquote, and it just is still not getting the job done at the end of
Yeah.
the day. So I definitely I
I
get
just
that.
want to share this quick like story real quick. The last two times I've heard a white person say the N word were both in diversity, equity, and inclusion trainings.
Wow.
Two separate
Re-
trainings. And they
Wow.
felt very comfortable saying the N word to a
Wow.
group full of black and brown and white folks. And so, like, the audacity that we see in these circles, right?
Hmm.
And so, again, going back to the mission of the Collab Spot, we need to be able to have spaces for us. We need to be able to have organizations and consulting firms for us, to be able to get out of some of these toxic spaces, right? And that's a true story, y'all.
Wow. Yeah.
Listen,
I, I
listen.
look.
I
I
believe
probably would
it.
got
I'm in
fired. I would have got
America,
fired.
and I have story upon story that you be looking at like you don't even know what you're doing, right?
Right.
Do you even understand what just
I would have
happened?
got. I would have got fired. I can tell you that. I could. I tell you that right now. I'd have been fired. But that's another conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
Have that
Mm.
conversation offline.
Yeah. Right. Offline. Yeah. We talk about that offline. Yeah.
And I do see that the Collab Spot offers membership and rental options. Can you explain to our audience the different options?
Yeah, so presently we have office space available. Um, and there are a few different options where we offer a sliding scale, and there's flexibility for Black and BIPOC owned collectives and organizations that are interested in office space. We have a couple of folks that are sharing the space because it's about 400 square feet. So there's definitely enough room for more
for
than,
for each office.
yes, for each office. Yeah. So there's definitely room for more than one collective to be in a space. So that's one option if you're looking for a dedicated office space. Our memberships are for our co-working space, which is opening in September. That'll be our open area, and we'll have varied seating, and those are on a month-to-month basis, and there are different tiers. Our lowest rate would be for Black and BIPOC folks. There's a middle general rate, and then there's a higher rate for white folks who are interested in aiding and sponsoring Black and brown folks.
Yeah, and to add to that, we take allyship very seriously. If you say you're an ally as a white person, that means something, right? You don't just get to wear a sticker of ally, right? And what it means at the Collab Spot is you financially support Black and brown people, whether that's us as a collective, or you can, as a white person, you can sponsor a BIPOC person's membership here. You can donate time, effort, money, right? But you don't get the title of ally if you're not directly supporting Black and brown people, right? And even then, we're not inviting you to the cookout. We're not having a cookout, right? And so I'm just
Uh,
real for us, and I think it's because we have existed. I have over 10 years experience in nonprofit settings in a variety of different fields. And what I have consistently seen is that the Black and brown people are the ones that are used for the majority of the labor,
Mhm.
and they are the ones that have the least voice in the organizations. And that's not how it's going to be here. We finna flip that thing around. So
Okay.
be a part of it, but you're going to be an ally. And as an ally, that is purely in support of Black and brown people. And so just want to make that clear.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
you
you my
heard
new.
that.
I think you my new best friend. Hey,
Uh huh.
I'm open. We
Yeah, I mean, but that's real talk though. I mean, and I think that needs to be a mentality amongst a lot of our businesses, organizations. We talk about it here about, working to support Black and brown. We try to use this platform to highlight, small businesses, organizations, and individuals uh, that are of color in our communities that are doing positive things. And I think there's nothing wrong, and we should be proud in wanting to do so. There's nothing wrong in that, and making it clear that, yeah, you can come along, but you can't come to the barbecue or the cookout. You can come, like you can go see the sights and you can go visit the sites, but that don't mean you got to pass to the party. So I love that. I support that. And really, with all of that being said, and this great conversation that we've had today, what's next? Like, really, what's next on the agenda? For the collab spot.
Yeah, yeah. And just to follow up with the last point you made, we definitely take Black space seriously, right? So
Hmm.
if there's a cookout where it's for all, then sure, come on through. But if it's a Black cookout, it's a Black cookout. All right.
Right.
So just wanted to follow up. But what we see next, right? So what we see next for the collab spot, September, we're very excited about September. We're fully opening for co-working. Right now, we've been on a what's it called? Like call ahead basis, appointment only basis,
Yeah.
because we've really been trying to space folks out. So our office tenants have had free reign of our building, but we really haven't, had our grand opening yet. And so that's coming in September. The universities, Richmond has several universities. The Black one, Virginia Union, right, is right
Mhm.
down, right around the corner from us, and we definitely hope to see a lot of our Virginia Union Panthers come and work here. We have VCU down the street. Definitely want to see our Ram family. We have U of R. They're the Spiders. I don't want to see no spiders, but the um, and up the road, we have V State, right? And so we definitely want our Trojans to come through, in addition to everyone, right? We want to see y'all in September. We're finna have some community programming going on. Hopefully, we're gonna have a block party coming up in the fall. So those are some of the things we have coming up.
Yeah, I think those are definitely the things that'll be very soon. The garden is another one that Brooke mentioned at the beginning. We have a really good space in the back, and we really want people to be able to not only sit out there and do some of their work and hang out, but also have a garden. And a goal of ours is to be able to have our weekly community meals here in the space.
Yeah.
And the idea is that we have a kitchen, and we would be together making food in the kitchen and be able to come in here and eat, and it would be free of charge. Whoever's in the area, come through and get a plate, come
Yeah.
sit down and talk with different people from the neighborhood. And the goal is to be able to take some of the herbs and veggies and stuff that we grow in the back to be able to put in our meals every week.
And truly feed the community and fellowship with the community. Again, I come from a church family, right? So there's a lot of churches that do this, right? But they gonna give you that invitation to discipleship at the end. We don't want nothing from you. We just
Okay.
feed you. We just want. We're not trying to sell you nothing. We just want to be a community. So that's a big difference.
And that's what's up, man. I really enjoyed today's conversation. I enjoyed today's episode. Lise, before we get out of here today, any final thoughts, comments, anything you want to share with our audience before we go?
Uh, I guess the social media information,
Hmm?
website information.
Yeah,
Hmm?
definitely. We are on Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook.
Facebook, LinkedIn, at the Collab Spot on all of our handles. If you all have any questions, you can reach us at info@thecollabspot.com.
Website.
Our website is thecollabspot.com.
If you Google the
No,
collab,
it's not
spot,
rocket science
You'll
at
find
all.
it.
It's just a color.
Right. Across all social media, the Collab Spot, y'all. Make sure you check them out, what they have going on. Anybody watching, if you got family in the Richmond area, you need to call your family and them, call your mama, your auntie, and them, tell them to go check out the Collab Spot. What they're doing in the Richmond area is awesome. It should be supported. It's supported here by Two Mics Up. Look forward to if you have anything going on, anything that we can help you with, share. Here on Two Mics Up. Two Mics Up is now your home as well. We're here to support. Lisa, before we go, anything you want to say or share before we head out, sis?
I do. I love it. I love the concept. I like the energy, and definitely, I think what is being done are the core values that you named. Because if we have anything that we learned from our ancestors, is the sense of community, the sense of one taking care of each other, and there was
Right.
and I like the fact that you're doing it unconditionally, and that's
Hmm.
what's hitting my spot. So I will be down to the collab spot first for the block party because I'm
Yeah,
there for that, and you know
Hmm.
I'm coming to the cookout.
yeah,
So I mean, I'm supportive. I like it. I just like the whole concept, and I love the energy. So I think
Indeed.
that this is something that's needed in the community.
Indeed. So thank you, Tanisha and Brooke, for joining us. Before we go, though, listeners, again, as we close out, I want to take a moment to share some thanks from our show sponsors, DJ Coco Brown and Bubbles and Brews Philly. As always, on Two Mics Up, we're all about supporting small businesses. DJ Coco Brown, Chanel Brown, is an experienced DJ who provides both mobile and virtual musical services. Coco Brown is based out of the Delaware, Philadelphia area, but is able to travel. She's been here to the DMV to rock some parties for us. If you're looking for an excellent DJ, contact DJ Coco Brown at chanel.brown@gmail.com. And Bubbles and Brews Philly, look, they've been on the show. This is a vintage mobile Prosecco and craft beer bar. This thing is out of this world. If you're looking to raise the bar and plan an unforgettable event, contact our friends at Bubbles and Brews Philly. They're servicing Philly and the South Jersey area. You can contact them at Bubbles and Brews Philly at phillygetcozybars.com. Again, all of our sponsors, Next Level Keys and Riddick Entertainment and all of them, we're going to be coming together this Thursday, with all of our show sponsors, and this was the perfect kickoff. This episode, the collab spot and collaborating. We want you all to come and join us this Thursday live. Tell your mama and them. Bring everybody back here. You can catch us on YouTube, our YouTube channel at Two Mics Up. We're going to sit down and we're going to be talking about collaborating and what they've done and the services that they can provide to you, and what they've done to help Two Mics Up here in season 2. And one other thing before we go, Lisa and I and Two Mics Up will be joining our friends September 11th and 12th over at the Virginia Black Business Expo, which is being brought to you by our friends at the Virginia Black Business Directory. Get more information at the virginiablackbusinessdirectory.com. This is going to be September 11th and 12th at the Fredericksburg Expo Center. Lisa and I are going to have the pleasure to host and just really rock out with all of you. So come down, enjoy the vendors and all of the food, drink, entertainment, and all of that good stuff. And Lisa and I really look forward to seeing you all there. You can follow Two Mics Up online at www.twomicsup.com. Follow us across all our social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you're watching this, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us the thumbs up. Hit that bell so you can stay tuned for more from Two Mics Up. And like we always do at this time, stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out.